Today's topic in chemical bonding chapter is molecular orbital theory. So first I'm taking the features of this theory. Now we have to study molecular orbitals here. Before this we were doing atomic orbitals, but now we will do the molecular orbitals. And the molecular orbitals we form from the atomic orbitals only. In a syllabus we just have diatomic molecules and homonuclear molecules only. That is the molecules which are formed from the same element only. First feature is electrons in a molecule are present in molecular orbitals. They are present in molecular orbitals. Just like the electrons of atom, we said they are present in atomic orbitals, but when we are taking molecule, the electrons of molecule, they are present in molecular orbitals. And which atomic orbitals they will combine to form molecular orbitals? Atomic orbitals of comparable energy, the one which will have approximately same energy, they only will form molecular orbitals, and the ones which will have proper symmetry. Atomic orbitals of comparable energy and proper symmetry only, which can overlap, they combine to form the molecular orbitals. Because from atomic orbitals only what we get molecular orbitals. So which atomic orbitals they will form molecular orbitals? The ones which will have comparable energy and their symmetry is proper, that is they can overlap with each other properly. The third feature of this theory is electron in an atomic orbital is under the influence of only one nucleus. But in case of the molecular orbitals, when we are taking the molecules, then the electrons of molecular orbitals, they are under the influence of more nuclei, depending on how many atoms are there in this molecule. So if there are two atoms, then that electron will be under the influence of two nucleus. So we will say that atomic orbitals, they are monocentric. There's only one center, one nucleus. While we can say that molecular orbitals, they are polycentric in nature because they are under the influence of more than one nucleus. Now, how many molecular orbitals will form from atomic orbitals? It's equal to the atomic orbitals which are overlapping to form molecular orbitals. So, number of molecular orbitals formed are equal to number of combining atomic orbitals. So if two atomic orbitals, example, two atomic orbitals, if they will combine, then two molecular orbitals will form. But these two molecular orbitals which will form here, one is known as bonding molecular orbital and the other one is known as anti-bonding molecular orbital. So two molecular orbitals will form from two atomic orbitals, but one will be called bonding molecular orbital and one will be called anti-bonding molecular orbital. So if the four atomic orbitals will overlap, we'll get the four molecular orbitals from that. So then again these are divided into bonding and to the anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Bonding molecular orbitals will have less energy than these atomic orbitals from which it will form, while anti-bonding molecular orbitals will have more energy than these combining atomic orbitals. So we'll say because bonding molecular orbitals will have low energy, they are more stable as compared to anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So they are more stable because their energy is less than anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So once the molecular orbitals will form, then in these orbitals we have to fill electrons. And electrons in molecular orbitals are filled like these are filled, electrons are filled in atomic orbitals using the Aufbau's principle. That is, in increasing energy only we have to fill these molecular orbitals. Then Pauli's exclusion principle, and third is according to Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. According to these rules only, electrons will be filled up in the molecular orbitals. But now when we are saying Bauer's principle, so we should know the energy of filling up of the molecular orbitals. So this part will take afterwards, that which molecular orbital will be first in energy, which one will be after that. Before that, we should know the symbols of these molecular orbitals also. For that, we are doing the next topic now, after features of molecular orbital theory, formation of molecular orbitals. To understand this, we are taking LCAO, that is linear combination of atomic orbitals. Atomic orbitals combine in a linear way and they will form the molecular orbital. So this is linear combination of atomic orbitals. So according to this, we are keeping in mind that atomic orbital is actually like a wave. We have done that orbitals actually are like a wave. So we are using the waves here to represent orbitals. We are not taking the orbitals here, just we are taking the wave to represent an orbital. So when we take this orbital, there will be two cases when the two atomic orbitals, they will overlap. So when we say two atomic orbitals, they will overlap, we will take the overlapping of two waves. Now in this case, we are taking psi A as amplitude of the electron wave. We are taking the amplitude of this electron wave, and another atomic orbital represented by this wave, we are taking psi B as amplitude of the electron wave of the atomic orbitals. So now when these two atomic orbitals or these two waves, they will start overlapping with each other, we can have the first case that two waves when they are in phase. What the meaning of two waves when they are in phase means? There is constructive interference. The two waves, they will overlap and there is constructive interference. Or we say that they add up. Constructive means they will add up, and the amplitude of resultant or new wave is phi. We represent that by phi. So when the two waves, they are adding up into each other, then we will have psi A plus psi B. These two will add up and this one will be the resultant amplitude. And we can have a second case also, that when the two waves, they are out of phase. Out of phase means there will be a destructive interference in the two waves. Two waves are out of phase. That is, there is destructive interference. Destructive interference means now they will subtract each other. They will not add up here, they will add up here. In this case, what will happen? They will subtract each other, and resultant wave amplitude we are writing as phi dash, which will be equal to now psi A minus psi B. The two waves amplitude, they will subtract each other. To understand this thing, how they will add up and how they will subtract is, these are the two waves. Where the two waves like this, from one side the wave is coming, from another side, another atomic orbital, this wave is coming, and they will start overlapping. So when they overlap, suppose there is constructive effect. Constructive means on the crest of this wave, crest of this wave will fall. On the trough of another wave will fall, and the resultant amplitude, this one will be more, because they will add up here in this case. So this is psi A, this is psi B, and this one will be psi A plus psi B. But when there is destructive interference, then these two waves, when they will start overlapping, then on the crest, trough will fall of this wave, and on the trough the crest is falling. So resultant wave amplitude will be less than that of this wave and of this wave. So this is subtractive effect and this is additive effect. So whenever the atomic orbitals overlap to form molecular orbitals, so there will be two cases. One is additive effect, one is subtractive effect. With additive effect, bonding molecular orbitals will form, and a subtractive effect, anti-bonding molecular orbitals will form. But now this wave will not give us much information about the molecular orbitals. What we do is, to find out the probability, we take a square of the amplitude. Now we take the square of this. So when we take a square of this probability, we have done in second chapter, probability is actually given by square of amplitude. So if we are taking the square of amplitude, in additive effect we are taking psi equal to, phi is equal to psi a plus psi b, and here we are taking in subtractive effect this thing, and for the probability we have to take a square of this. So square of this means square of this and square of this. This becomes a plus b whole square. So when we open it, this becomes psi a square plus psi b square plus 2 psi a psi b. This is a minus b whole square. So we get psi a square plus psi b square minus 2 psi a psi b. That is, phi square is greater than psi a square plus psi b square, because this value will add up. So this is more. And in this case, phi dash square is less than psi a square sum plus psi b square, because some value will be subtracted from this. So this is the probability which is given by the square of amplitude when additive effect is there and when subtractive effect is there. With additive effect, I told you bonding molecular orbitals will form, and in subtractive effect, anti-bonding molecular orbitals they will form. In case of bonding molecular orbitals, the probability of finding the electrons is more between the nuclei of the bonded atoms. For example, this is one atomic orbital, this is another atomic orbital. When they will overlap, a molecular orbital will form when this overlapping part will dissolve. So actually, molecular orbitals formed are like this. The middle wall here will dissolve. This is a difference between the valence bond theory and the molecular orbital theory. Now difference in the bonding and anti-bonding is, this is a nucleus. These are the nuclei of these atoms. In this case, the probability of finding electrons is between the nuclei of two overlapping atomic orbitals. While in case of anti-bonding orbitals, the probability of finding electrons is away from the nuclei. It's this way. And now the nucleus of the two, they are so close, there is no obstruction here in between. Positively charged nuclei, they will start repelling each other. Because of this, the anti-bonding molecular orbital energy will increase. So these will have more energy as compared to bonding molecular orbitals. So they have low energy while these have high energy. Because they have high energy, these are unstable or less stable, we can say, and they have low energy, so they are more stable as compared to the atomic orbitals. Now next after this is conditions for the combination of atomic orbitals to form molecular orbitals. Like we have done before, at the combining atomic orbitals which are forming molecular orbitals, they should be of comparable energy and they should have proper symmetry. So these are the conditions. Now which atomic orbitals they will have a proper symmetry? So combining atomic orbitals should have comparable energies. Like 1s can combine with the 1s, 2s can combine with the 2s, and 2p can overlap with the 2p. So 1s and 1s, they are of comparable energy 2s and 2s, they can overlap. Similarly, 2p can overlap with the 2p to form the molecular orbitals. Now second is that proper symmetry or proper orientation should be there, then only they will overlap. Like for example, 2pz can overlap with 2pz only, 2px with 2px, and 2py will overlap with 2py. And third is the extent of overlapping between these atomic orbitals should be large, then only they will form molecular orbitals. The extent of overlapping should be large. So these are the three conditions which are required for atomic orbitals to form molecular orbitals. So next, now we have types of molecular orbitals formed. Types of molecular orbitals formed. With different atomic orbitals overlapping, we'll see that which kind of molecular orbitals will form. So two atomic orbitals, when they will overlap along internuclear axis, we know we will get sigma bond. Internuclear axis, then the molecular orbital that we'll get is called sigma molecular orbital. So this symbol sigma will come before the symbol of the molecular orbital. And if two atomic orbitals, they will overlap sideways, that means the internuclear axis, they are coming parallel to each other, then the molecular orbital formed is the pi, is called pi molecular orbital. So this pi designation should come before the symbol of molecular orbital. So types of molecular orbitals are 2, sigma and pi. Now next point here is, if we represent orbitals by signs of wave function, by signs of wave function, like s orbital we know is spherically symmetrical. S orbitals are spherically symmetrical. So in this case, the wave has same sign in all directions. So wave has same sign. Wave is orbital only, same sign in all directions. So we are using the signs here as plus and minus. In this case, for the s orbital, either whole of this is plus, or we can write minus for this thing, because it is spherically symmetrical. So all over it will be having the same sign, either plus or minus will be there. But when we take the p orbitals, in case of p orbitals, there are two lobes. In case of p orbitals, one lobe is given plus sign and the other is given negative sign. So if the plus and plus will overlap, we'll get bonding molecular orbital. But if the plus will overlap with the negative part of the orbital, then we'll get anti-bonding molecular orbitals. To understand this, we are taking the 1s and 1s orbital overlap first. Then 2s, 2s, then we'll take the 2p orbitals overlapping. So in this case, we will have 1s and 1s orbitals. Suppose these have plus sign or these have a minus sign, then what will happen when they will overlap? With overlapping, there will be attraction between the two. There can be repulsion also, but when plus and minus they are overlapping, then there will be attraction between the two atomic orbitals. And because of that attraction, this middle wall will dissolve and the whole this one will become one orbital And now since this is formed from two atoms, this is called molecular orbital. And plus sign is here. This is, they are overlapping along their internuclear axis. So sigma molecular orbital will form, and this is formed from the 1s orbital. So designation of this is sigma 1s. This is bonding molecular orbital formed. But when we will have 1s and 1s, one has a plus sign and one wave has a minus sign, then when they will overlap, there will be repulsion. Plus and minus means there will be repulsion. Same signs means there is attraction here. But when we have the opposite sign, then there will be repulsion. So don't consider it with the charges. These plus and minus are not the charges. These are just to show that there is attraction between the same signs. It is sign, not a charge here. So now the two, when they will overlap like this, plus and minus, there is repulsion. With repulsion, what will happen? They will start moving away from each other. And when they move away from each other, a little gap will be there between the two. This one will be there. So here we will have the nuclei of the two. This side is plus charge, this side is minus charge. And this part where we will not have any electron, that is called nodal plane. So we will have one nodal plane here. This molecular orbital formed here is again along the internuclear axis, the overlapping take place. So sigma and 1s orbitals, they are forming this. So it is sigma 1s. To differentiate it from bonding molecular orbital, for anti-bonding molecular orbital, we'll put a star sign here. So this is anti-bonding molecular orbital. So this way, whenever the atomic orbitals are overlapping, they will form bonding molecular orbital with attraction and anti-bonding molecular orbital with repulsion. And these are the symbols of the bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals formed by the overlapping of 1s atomic orbitals. Same way we will have 2s and 2s. So here we will get sigma 2s and here we will get sigma star 2s anti-bonding molecular orbital. So this is for 1s and for 2s and 2s. Now we come to the 2p orbitals. In case of 2p, we are taking the 2pz, and conventionally we are taking 2pz like this, so that these atomic orbital internuclear axes are coming in same line only. That is, when they overlap, then there will be a sigma bond formed. One lobe will have positive sign, another lobe will have minus sign. So if I am taking plus and plus here this side, they will overlap and there will be attraction and bonding molecular orbital will form. But we can have second condition also. In this case, this side if I am writing plus, for another this 2pz atomic orbital I am writing minus. So when they are overlapping, there will be repulsion. So when there is attraction, the middle wall of these will dissolve. So we are getting here this one, they come close to each other. Even here also it's like this only. But when they are close to each other, in this case, because same signs are overlapping here, there is attraction, and here opposite signs are there, so there is repulsion. Because of attraction now, this is called addition of the two atomic orbitals will take place, and here we will have subtraction. With addition, bonding molecular orbital will form, and with subtraction, anti-bonding molecular orbitals will form. And this middle wall will dissolve now because of attraction, and these lobes now will be of little small size like this. So in the center, because plus plus is there, this one is plus and these will have minus signs here. This is formed by the overlapping of atomic orbitals along internuclear axis. So sigma sign will be here, sigma, and it is 2pz because we have taken these as conventionally as 2pz atomic orbitals. Now in this case there is repulsion because the opposite signs are here. Because of repulsion, they will start moving away from each other, and the lobes now, this side will become small in size like this. A little gap between the two like this. And this side we will have plus sign, minus sign. This is plus and this is minus. This is sigma star 2pz, and this is a nodal plane. Nodal plane means there are no electrons here. So this is the case with the 2pz and 2pz overlapping. Now I'm taking the 2px or 2py. We will have same type of the overlapping. Let's say this is a 2px one orbital, this is 2px another orbital, and then we will have plus sign here, minus and minus here, 2px or 2py, 2px or 2py. When they will overlap here, between the two there will be attraction because same sign, lobes are coming close to each other. Plus plus minus minus, so this middle wall here will dissolve here, and we will get this one lobe, bigger size lobe here above the plane, and one bigger size by overlapping of minus and minus here below a plane. This will have a plus sign, this one will have a minus sign, and even here we are getting a nodal plane. Since this is formed by additive effect, by addition, so this molecular orbital formed here is a bonding molecular orbital. So now we are writing pi because sideways overlapping is here, pi 2px, or this is pi 2py. But now when we will have the opposite signs here, then we'll get an anti-bonding molecular orbital, and that is if we take two atomic orbitals, one having a plus sign, one having a negative sign, 2px or 2py. Plus and minus are coming close to each other, so there will be subtraction, destructive effect, and there will be repulsion here. Because of repulsion, now these will start moving away from each other. This is the plane. So when they will move away from each other, they will go like this, separate out from each other. And the lobes here will have plus sign here, minus, this is plus and this is minus. So in this case we are getting the two planes here, two nodal planes. And designation here is, this is pi star because overlapping is sideways, so pi anti-bonding subtractive effect, so star is there. Either this is 2px or this is your pi star 2py. So this is the designation of the molecular orbitals. When 1s and 1s will overlap, 2s and 2s will overlap, and 2p and 2p will overlap, we will get these kind of designations for the molecular orbitals. So this is the initial part of the molecular